Hello, I am Seamus Donoghue of EVE University, and this is episode 3 of How to Survive EVE Online. For the record, it's been 3 days since I recorded the previous episode, mostly due to real-life distractions. In the meantime, Galente Frigate Level 4 had been training steadily in the background. Before I get into the exploration chain, I want to talk about skills for a moment. After this series, I'm going to use this same player character to record a guide on how to get through the Sisters of Eve Level 1 Epic Arc, the Bloodstained Stars. And later, towards the end of the Bloodstained Stars, you're probably going to be in a cruiser, at which point I'm going to advise that you start using drones. So first of all, looking at the character sheet, the drone section, make sure this pop-up is set to all skills, at least for the moment. You're going to want to get drones up to at least level 4. Level 5 is going to be a long skill train. At level 4 should suffice. If you're a Galente character, then the advanced military chain, which I'll cover towards the end of How to Survive EVE Online, will probably give you a light drone operation skill book. For all other races, it might be necessary to right-click, view market details, look for the entry that says station, make sure the price is reasonable, and right-click, buy this. And you'll have the skill book appear in your item hanger, and you can inject that and start skill training that. That's not urgent, doesn't have to be right away. For Galente and Amarian characters, I'm also going to advise that you get repair systems, hull upgrades, and mechanics up to level 4 each, eventually. Again, not terribly urgent. For Kaldari and Minmatar characters, go to the shield section. You'll probably be given a shield operations skill book. If you haven't, and I have not checked for this myself, but if for some reason you're not given a shield operations skill book, again, right-click, buy this type. Right-click, view market details. Make sure you check the prices. That way, you're not buying something at a grossly inflated price from a player. Get shield operation up to level 4. Some of the other shield skills up to level 2 or 3. That'll be fine. Finally, I've noticed that new players start off with the thermodynamics skill already at level 1. I failed to notice this earlier, which is why I'm only starting to mention it now. Thermodynamics is a skill that lets you overheat your modules so that they can temporarily perform better. But if left overheated for too long, it will burn out the module, and you can't use it again until you take it back to a station and get it repaired in a repair shop. So you'd have to dock up, right-click, get repair quote, right? And then click the repair all button to get that fixed. So, since you have the thermodynamics skill, it is possible you might have overheated something accidentally. I'll give you a demonstration when I undock. The only other thing I've done off screen is salvage all the wrecks that I mentioned at the end of the last episode, and I now have a little under 4 million ISK of salvage. It's going to be random what you get. Maybe you'll get more, maybe you'll get less. I don't know if this is an average amount for the number of wrecks that I salvaged. Finally, for exploration, there's not going to be any combat involved. All I've got is the micro-warp drive and the armor repairer. So I'm going to start a conversation with the exploration career agent. And the agent wants us to find Takasik Anomaly, get a proof of discovery, and come back. So click accept. And let's undock. Now, before I actually warp to location, let me talk about overheating again very quick in terms of the interface. Because like I said, you might have accidentally toggled it on and had no idea how to toggle it off again, which would not be good. So, a micro warp drive is one of those things that can be overheated. I'm going to double left click over here, and I'm going to turn on the micro warp drive. Am I cap stable with this thing? No. So, first of all, if I keep the micro warp drive on under normal circumstances, it's going to stop anyway because I'm going to run out of capacitor energy. It depletes in 39 seconds from full to empty. Right, but with the micro warp drive on, normally I'm going about 2,800 meters per second. Right? Now, to overheat a module, you can hold down Shift and then click the module. And now you have this bright green bar across the top. Right? Or if you're using a key binding for it, since this is the mid-slot module, it'll be Shift-Alt-F1. That also toggles overheat. So if I toggle on overheat, and then I toggle on the micro warp drive, now I can go a lot faster. Alright, so it performs better, but now I've got this heat gauge on the mid-slot rack. So the micro warp drive and any other mid-slot modules that I have, actual mid-slot modules, not mid-slot, including mid-slot modules I dragged up onto the high-slot buttons. Right? They're all going to start taking heat damage. And now I have this red section over here, so the thing has started taking heat damage. So again, Shift-click the module to toggle the overheat status. So make sure this is a dim green section before we continue. So, open up the scanners. You're going to open up the probe scanner section. And you need to find a cosmic anomaly. It'll be any one of these, it'll be some of these green entries. The red ones we'll do later this episode. So, anomaly training combat site. Don't worry, it's not actually a combat site. You're not going to be doing any fighting here.
Warp drive active.
But just click the Warp 2 button on any of them. Doesn't matter which one. Alright, right-click, open cargo, and just turn on the micro warp drive, turn off the micro warp drive, and I don't want to overshoot, so control spacebar to stop my ship. Approach again. There we go. Yeah, I overshot a little bit. Now open cargo. Loot all. Return to station. And you know what? Control B. Save spot. There we go.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Alright, right click. I'm going to repair my ship since I damaged the micro warp drive. Repair all. Yeah. Talk to the agent. Complete mission. Request the next mission. This next one is just a tour. So it's basically, it's just going to be throwing text at you. If you want, you can take the time to read through the text. I'm going to go through this as quick as possible, so I'm not wasting your time. But an introduction to cosmic signatures, warp to location.
Warp drive active.
I'll probably be skipping warps in the video. Alright, here we are. I'm going to activate this first acceleration
Warp
gate.
drive active.
And you know what? Save this as another safe spot. There are the exploration supplies. Open the cargo. Pulse the micro warp drive. Control spacebar. I don't want to overshoot again. Loot all. Click the acceleration gate. Activate.
Warp drive active.
Double checking I actually have all this stuff in cargo hold. Yes. Alright.
Warp drive active.
And should throw text at you about each of the different kinds of cosmic signatures that you can find, which should be data, relic, and gas sites. Here's talk about relic signatures.
Warp
Move on to the
drive
next
active.
site. There we go. We're all done here. Return to station.
Warp drive active.
I've warped back to the station, docking up.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Now, I'm gonna open the fitting window, open my cargo hold. Gonna need the core probe launcher, load it with core scanner probes. Gonna need the civilian data analyzer, need the civilian relic. Yeah, that's all I need. Don't need the ammunition. I don't have any guns on board. Talk to the agent again. And request the next mission. Accept. And there's 3 missions remaining in this chain. 1 for each of the kinds of cosmic signatures that you're going to scan down. Now, personally, just as a personal habit, I like to sit at a safe spot somewhere.
Warp drive active.
Alright, now I'm at my safe spot. So, the pinpoint formation, right, gives you a formation of probes, right? You always have 8 probes to work with, and now there's a better formation that I'd like to have you set up first. So when you launch your formation, first of all, left click and drag the arrows or the box surfaces. If it's just the arrows, you can only move it on one axis, that given axis. If it's a box surface, you can move it around on that plane. Now hold down Shift. Let me zoom in a little bit further. Hold down Shift, and what I'm going to have you do is as follows. 6 of these boxes are on the same lateral plane. One of these is below, one of these is above. What I'm going to have you do is make a cube formation. So holding down the Shift key, just rearrange these so that they're touching, so the arrowheads are touching tip to tip, approximately. Kind of like this. It doesn't help that perspective seems to be slightly distorted, but try to roughly line them up. It's not going to wind up being perfect, but as long as it vaguely resembles the cube. Alright, I'll make it like this. There. That looks vaguely like a cube. Close enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. The reason I'm having you do this is because to find anything using scanner probes, you want your probes to be surrounding the target as much as possible. And when you have 8 probes to work with, which everybody in EVE Online has 8 probes to work with, the best formation for that is a cube. So let go of the Shift key, hold down the Alt or Option key, and we're going... Oh no, that's for adjusting the scan radius. That's not what I want. The Control key. Yeah, here we go. Hold down the Control key and expand the formation. You do want... Each of these probes is a sphere, and you do want them overlapping in the middle of the cube that you've just set up, at least a little, at least moderately. Okay. Let go of the Control key, and now you're ready to get scanning. Now, the sites that you need to find are going to be near planets, generally within about 4 astronomical units or so. Here's the current location of my ship. It's marked with a crosshairs icon. And here's 5 astronomical units around my ship. So I'm going to drag these over to center it on a planet. And if I want, I can double left click on a planet that will center my view there, more or less, and analyze. Alright, I had a mishap while recording. I lost connection for some reason. Alright. So, recover active probes. I have no active probes. Give me a moment to figure out what the... Here we go. Reconnect to lost probes. There we go. And I've still got an hour until those probes expire, so let me try this again. Alright, I have to set this formation up all over again. Give me a moment. This up to the same elevation. Bring it across to overlap with this probe. Alright, close enough. Now I'm gonna hold down the control key, set a proper overlap, that should be good enough. Go over here, save current formation. Why did it not prompt me for a name? Oh. Alright, I'll figure that out later. Alright, so now that that's set up, I'm going to analyze, see what I can find here. Alright, so first of all, let me sort by... Sort by name. Alright, we need a data site, a gas site, and a relic site, ultimately. So, might as well scan down all of them at once. So here's a data training site. Now, probes work on the theory of quadlateration, meaning finding an unknown target based on its distances from 4 known observers. If only one probe can see a target, then you only have one distance, and so it's going to draw it as a sphere, most likely. If 2 probes can see a target, then it's going to give you a ring, which I don't know if I have one of those here. Yeah, here we go. If 3 probes can see a target, it's going to give you a pair of points. If 4 or more probes can see a target, it's only going to give you a single dot. So here I've got a pretty good lead on this data training site, so I'm going to move my probes in between the 2 of them, roughly around here, and then analyze again. Alright, I found it. So now that's a 100% solution, I can warp to that. You can warp to cosmic anomalies immediately, but cosmic signatures you have to scan down like this. Right-click, save location on the data training site, and sometimes these things disappear because other players are looking for them as well. So while you're looking for other kinds of sites, like say a gas site, you might need to find another site. This red ring indicates only 2 of the probes saw the target, so they can only narrow it down to a ring. But there it is. That's a gas training site. Right-click, save location, submit. WSS. I also found another data trading site at the same time. Might as well save that as a location. Oh, look, there's a Relic site. Now, the Relic site is giving me a 2-dot result, meaning only 3 probes can see this target. Again, hold down Shift. Here are where the probes are. Okay? So, only 3 probes can see the target, and based on that, the 3 probes think it's either here or here. In this case, this possibility is deep inside the formation. If it were actually here, more than 3 probes would be seeing it, which suggests to me it's actually over here. So I'm going to move my probes over to here, and then analyze. Okay, and there's the Relic site, just as I expected. Now, as I said before, if only 2 probes can see a target, then it's going to draw a ring, because 2 spheres will intersect in a ring, in a circle. So basically, if this... let me see if I can find an example like that. I know. Move my probes over here. Double left click, send the view over here. Here. Let me try analyzing from here, see if I can give you a visual example of that. I'm expecting all the sites to be... Okay, no scan signatures detected. Let me move the probes a little bit closer then. And run another scan. When it says no scan signatures detected, then there's absolutely nothing in the field of your 8 probes. Alright. And here's an example of a ring. So only 2 probes can see this target. So this probe over here can see it, and this probe over here can see it. So this probe has a distance to the target, so it's going to draw, so it has its own sphere. This probe has its own distance to the target, so it has its own sphere, and where 2 spheres intersect, you have a ring. Now, the target can't actually be on this upper left part of the ring because it's deep inside the probe formation. More than 2 probes would have seen this if that were true. So it has to be out on the part of the ring where only 2 probes have coverage. So in this case, what I want to do is drag the formation down to over here and analyze again. There you go. That's where it is. So that's another gas training site. I will save that location. I only really need 1 of each, but like I said, I'm demonstrating scanning practices here. Now here's a case where I don't quite have it to 100%. I detect this Relic site. I know what it is because it's at least 98%. It's at least 75%, so I know what type of site it is, but I can't warp to it yet. So like I said, ideally you want your probes surrounding the target, and here all the probes are generally off to one side of the target. I mean, it helps that multiple probes can see it, but that's not good enough in this case. So you can always recenter your formation on where you think it is, and then run another scan. And finally, you will also want to hold down the Alt or Option key and just reduce the scan radius. Or go to this slider over here next to the Analyze button and change the scan radius. The smaller the scan radius, the higher the percentage return that you're going to get. So for hard-to-find sites, you're going to need to recenter your formation on where you think this thing is, then drop down your scan radius one step. Or if you get really good at probe scanning and you've got good astrometrics-related skills on your character sheet, you can drop down 2 steps, like this. Let me double left-click on this thing to center the view. There we go. And then analyze. So in the general case where you're trying to find something, or if you're using combat scanner probes, trying to find someone, you can start off with a wide field, a really wide field. Analyze, recenter your probes on where you think the target is, step down to a lower scan radius, analyze again until you find the target. I think I have enough bookmarks for this. I'm supposed to go to a data site, so I will go warp to this one.
Warp drive active.
And if the site still exists, you should have this pop-up saying Data Site Training Area. Now, the current mission only has us doing the data site, not any of the others at the moment, but I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone while I'm out here. Approach the training container. Pulse the micro warp drive a bit. Control spacebar. Reapproach. There we go. And target lock. Civilian data analyzer. And you've seen the hacking minigame before, so now I'm 5 steps away from it. 4 steps, 3, 2, 1. So it's either here or here. There it is. And done. Open the container. Loot all. Right-click, stack all. And as long as I'm out here, let me also go to a Relic training site.
Warp drive
Relic
active.
site training area. Okay, good. So the site still exists. It hasn't been run by another player. If I had no pop-up at all, and I dropped out in the middle of empty space, then I would have known somebody else ran it while I was doing something else, and it's gone. I'll have to find another one. Same deal here. Approach the Relic container. Turn on the micro warp drive, turn off the micro warp drive. Control spacebar at 10 kilometers because I don't want to overshoot this. Alright, target lock. I'm within 2.5 kilometers. Good. I need to be within 5 kilometers to hack. So 3, 2. I ran into something. It's probably somewhere around here. Let me see if I can go around. No, I have to get this thing out of the way. And there's the system core. If your virus runs out of hit points, you'll have to start over again. Alright, but that's done.
Warp drive active.
You know what? That was a duplicate bookmark. I didn't need that. I'll delete that save spot. I'll just convert the other things into save spots later. Do be a little bit careful about using exploration sites as save spots because you don't know who else might have bookmarked that same
Docking
location.
permission requested.
And besides which, you can't,
Docking
even if
request
you're using a
accepted.
safe spot in a PvP situation where you're trying to run and hide, if they've got combat probes, they can try to find you using combat probes, just like I used core probes now to find cosmic signatures. Core probes can only find cosmic signatures, but they're good at it. Alright, so complete mission, request mission, and I had already... I forgot to actually take the thing out of the container. I'm going to skip ahead to the part where I go out, get the thing, come back, and then turn in the mission. But if you do this yourself, and actually remember to take the proof of discovery out of the container.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
There, done. Request next mission. Accept. Close. And don't forget, your agent gave you a proof of discovery gas pass key. Make sure that's in your cargo hold. Make sure you have that before you undock. I am just full of epic fail today.
Warp drive active.
Now we're at the acceleration gate. As you've probably guessed, I've been cutting out parts of the video where I've been having this mishap so as to try and cut down on the length of the video. Alright. So open cargo. It's within a few kilometers. I'm not bothering with the micro warp drive. Loot all. Return to station.
Warp drive active.
Alright. And that handles the exploration chain, along with how to set up your own probe formation. And I do advise using a cube formation for probe scanning work. That covers the exploration chain. In the next episode, I will get started on both the industry and business chains simultaneously, because as it turns out, it's optimal to run those at the same time, for reasons that will become clear. I'm Seamus Dunhu of University. Thank you for watching.